Hi everybody, Jo here again. Thanks for joining me today. It's Tuesday, so it's time for our crafty catch-up. And I have to say, today we're going to meet a new friend. So we've got a new friend to bring along to the mix. And I'm hoping with his help, we're going to create this design. Well, something similar. You know what I'm like. It's very difficult doing exactly the same thing twice. But if I just pop the design to one side and introduce our new friend, and here he is. Now this is Roland, our new printing press, and it's made exclusively for Lavinia by Gel Press. Now I know there's a lot of you already that love using the gel press plates, and really I thought I'd come in today and just show you a nice simple but effective background for those of you who've never tried one. Now, what's special about these, you may ask? They're a mono printing plate, so they give us that original design. And when I say original, that's because, and this is the part here behind our lovely Olivia, the point is, even if you do the same thing twice, the way that the gel press is, you never get the same thing. It'll have just differences of how the ink is, how the water is. Even if you think you've added exactly the same amounts, it's fabulous. So it gives you that original mono printing, and it's flat, look, all flat. So brilliant thing. The one thing I will say is have plenty of card, because whenever I use the gel press and whenever I do like shaving foam backgrounds, for me, have a stash of card ready because you're going to need it. I find it with brush holes as well, because once I do one design, I get so excited, I want to make more. Now, the gel press comes in this lovely box. I would keep it in the box because it keeps it safe. Now, when I use mine, I pop it on my Lavinia acrylic plate, because for me, then I find it easier to handle. I'll pop the box to one side. I find it easier to handle, and the gel press has got a fantastic memory, so it saves me putting it down on something, an uneven surface. Now, I know you're going to ask me the size of it. So it's a 5-inch diameter, look. So we're going to start off with, I've got a piece of card, and this is, I think this is a 7x7 multifarious, yes. And I'm going to put that to one side because we need a few things in readiness. Now for this, I'm going to need my stash of copy paper. And as I say, I'm going to start with a simple background, 2 colours of ink. So I've gone for olive and mermaid. Now mermaid's not a colour I use very much, and that's why I've gone for it. I thought I'd go for something a bit different. Just fancied something a bit exciting for a change, you know, instead of going for my usual safe colours. I need Billy Brayer, he's going to come in, and I need a stencil. So for this one, I've chosen this beautiful flower spray. And I can put the packaging away. I just needed it so I remembered the name. You know I'm not good with names. Copy of paper, and away we go. So we're going to start off with, we're going to put the olive on the gel press. Now, 2 ways of doing this. I'm just going to take the ink direct and dab it on. I could have put it on my brayer, but I'm just going to pop it there and whiz down and along. That's it. Don't overdo it. If you over brayer, what you'll find is you'll start to lift some of the ink off. Beautiful elements. They've got a high colour, high pigment, less water, so beautiful for the gel press. I'm going to pop my stencil on, get myself another piece of copy paper. Now I could use card for this, but I find copy paper's best for me. And again, I've just cleaned my gel press on my copy paper. To be honest, I could have cleaned it in my journal, but I haven't got that much room. Now I'm just using my copy paper to take some of that ink off. Now it will give me a design, which, as I say, I could use a piece. See, I could use that for an insert. Again, pop that in my journal. Now, if you think about it, the green colour will be underneath where the stencil is now, and we've taken the colour off these areas of the gel press. So that's where I'm going to come in with my mermaid, and I've got one of my blending sponges, and I'm just going to dab the ink now all over. I could brayer it on. For me, I find dabbing it on is easier, but again, it's totally up to you. You do whatever suits you. I always say that with crafting. If you come up with a way that suits you, you do it. We're all different. It's like baking, isn't it? We all have different little bits that we add to our recipes. Now, I am going over my stencil as well because I've got a plan for that. So make sure I get it in between. And I just want, if possible, a bit deep around the edges. I'm going to put the lid on my ink, and I'm going to put that to one side. Move this out of the way for the minute. I'm going to lift the stencil up and just put that to one side. And I'm hoping, maybe can you see, there is another reflection of my light, I do apologise, but you can actually see the design on the gel press. So how easy was that? Now for me, this is where my block comes in useful, because I can then use this almost as a stamp, and I can decide exactly where I want to try and get it in the middle, look. And I'm just going to take it down and press. Again, it's a gel press. So I'm pressing down, and look at that. I mean, I've got to be honest, you know, if you're having a bad day, oh, have a go at this, because honestly, just trying to move my light. I'm sorry, it's got a reflection, but I need my light to see. So again, I do apologise. But this, how much fun is this? And then when you peel that off, you've got that fabulous, look at that. I mean, how can you not love that? Now, to clean the gel press, it's a piece of copy paper and just pop it on. Again, I'm just using the back of this. Now, you will get a second, like a ghost image, which again, you could use for your insert if you wanted to do that on a piece of card. But I just clean mine with my copy paper. Now, we've got our stencil here, haven't we, with ink on? And we don't want to waste that. So I'm just going to grab my journal. If you'll just let me, let's find, there we go, a clean page. And Eric is in the craft room with me here, so you're going to get a bit of a spritz, mister. So I'm just spritzing that stencil and putting it down there, because we want to use that. And we'll let that, two things, it's going to clean the stencil and give me a page. So, you know, I have both size journals. So I've popped that in my larger journal. But yesterday, when I did my piece, I put it in my smaller journal. See, I've got so many backgrounds in here. Right. Look, there's one with just the green. And again, it gives you a place when you want to make another, start on another piece of work. So I'm just going to, if you bear with me for a minute, gives me a chance to ask, how are you? How are things going? I record these in advance. So here in the UK, obviously we've had the death of the passing away of our fabulous Queen. And it has been quite a, you know, it's such a sad time, and everybody's feeling a bit low, and I do think, you know, for me, that's when crafting is so important, and it's so good that we can get together and we can help each other. I mean, I feel for the family. I mean, I know we all feel the loss, but I really feel for the family. After losing my own dad this year, I really, my heart goes out to the family, and especially when they are so public. Look at that, beautiful. Now, for me, I just want to join these two together. So, a little bit more water, and I just want to add a little bit here. And I want it to be quite faint, so I won't hold it down for too long. Really, it's not to get the pattern, it's almost to get that same colour ink. And it's a bit sort of second generation, like when we're stamping, so it's paler. But if you look, that for me will just... Now, I'm just going to... Sorry, Eric, I need some space on the floor to put that. It's important we have that. Now, onto our background. I just think this is stunning. And I mean, how easy was that? Seriously, have a day creating, make yourself lots of backgrounds, you know, and just have fun. If you've not got the gel press, honestly, you get it and play. Now I need to decide which way round. So I'm going to have it this way, and I'm going to stamp our lovely Olivia now. And this is the larger one. She comes in 2 sizes. I'm just going to use my black VersaFine Clair, the Nocturne. Now, it dries more or less straight away. It's fabulous. You can use your heat tool if you want to speed it up. As with most things, I find if you let things dry naturally, they will be better. Now, I'm going to have to stamp her this way, as you know, but hopefully she will fit beautifully. Now think, all the different inks you could use, the different combinations, the different stencils. You could make yourself just a batch of backgrounds, and then when Mr. Mojo disappears, you know what he's like. He'll be going on holiday again soon, won't he? He has lots of holidays. Then you can just get your backgrounds out and think, right, what can I stamp on top of it? Now, she is a silhouette, and I know I'm spending extra time, but I really want the ink to soak into the card. When you think I've already got ink on here, I've got 2 layers of ink. So it's important for me to give it time to soak in. And especially on her body, on her beautiful slim body. Look at her. And then let's lift her up. Now we have got a little bit there where it hasn't quite, but don't worry. When I add my white pastel pencil, you won't notice that. For me, I think she's stamped beautifully. What I am going to just do is ground her a little with my fine liner. Just a little bit of it. It's nothing much, just a few odd little lines that'll just make her look like she's stood. I don't want any more than that because I don't want to distract. I will blot her. And we're going to come in now and just add some lovely colour round the edge. Now you could leave her like that if I bring in this and just pop that over the top. I mean, that's stunning, isn't it, in itself? So if you want the clean and simple, leave it like that. I'm going to come in and add the next, just so I can give you a good idea of what to do should you wish. I'm going to use my stencil brush, and I'm going to start inking up, coming in on the corner first, because I want my corners deeper, but I want to give sort of a white halo round. So move your card round, make it easy for yourself. And we'll just whiz round, again taking the ink off in my lid and making sure that start on the corners, go round so I keep that nice shape. And if you're worried if you get the odd line, as you can see I've got the odd line, doesn't matter. We're going to add some water and we're going to add some stamping, so don't be over precious. This is a great way to, I was going to say brush up on your inking skills. Get it? Brush up. Sorry, that was very bad. I feel like being bad at the minute though. I feel like we all need a reason to smile. And you know what? Bless her, the Queen wouldn't want anybody. She'd want us to be respectful and to think of her, but she wouldn't want us to be terribly sad. So I'm just going to mop up that ink there. Otherwise, I'll get it everywhere. Now, I want to add a little bit of stamping on here. and I'm going to add some water. But for me, I like to do my stamping first, because once I add the water to faux bleach, the card, it's multifarious, so it won't move very much, but it may move. So for me, let's do the stamping first. I'm going to come in with this lovely stamp, Sacred Spells. I adore this. It's a script stamp, so I always have an arrow on the back of the stamp. You probably can't see that with the reflection, and it's a well-used stamp, look. But I have been known to stamp it upside down. And we're going to use Warm Breeze. And I actually want it to be quite bright. So I'm not going to do second generation. Often when we're doing our words, we go for second generation. But I want first for this. And I just want it. And I'm just going to, I find for me, if I do opposite corners, I can just get 2 goes out of one inking of my stamp. But again, you'll have your own routine of how you best. So as I say, it's Warm Breeze, and this is again the VersaFine Clair. So it's a permanent ink. And then what I find is once I've done that, I find I can do my 2 sides and then top and bottom. So that one and then that one. There we go. And I just thought that colour, I can't believe, if you want any to go together, look at that. The Mermaid and the Warm Breeze. Definitely fabulous match, those two. And so now I'm going to come in with my fan brush and add my water, my faux bleaching, because I've stamped in my permanent ink, so that's not going to move. And this is the bit where if you have any lines blending, don't worry about it. The faux bleaching will just distract everybody and take everybody's mind off it. Now, what I have done is, you can leave her like this, but I wanted to decoupage her wing. So I have stamped, while that's just faux bleaching, look at this little bit, I save every little piece of card, do you? And I've stamped just her wing on it. And I'll show you how I colour. And I just use my watercolour pencils. And there's a lovely blue here and a purple. And all I do is, for me, can you see how we're still in shot? I'm going to add some purple at the tip of the wing where I want the deeper colour. And then I'm going to come in with this beautiful blue. And again, I try and make sure my pencils are always nice and sharp. And then I'll just blend it a little. And bring in my number one, my favourite of the water, of my paintbrushes. And start with the blue. Just add the water and then blend it, look, into the purple. So always start with your lightest colour and then blend that. Now how, again, quick was that? Let that dry and then cut it out, and you'll be glad to know I've cut mine out already here, look, so you don't need to see me cutting out. When this is faux bleached enough, I must admit, I like to just come round with my kitchen towel. And if you're worried and you don't want it to faux bleach too much, you can dry it earlier. Great way. I'm thinking, and you know what I'm going to say? Now, Lorna, if you're watching, I know every design, sweetheart, you do turn into a Christmas one, which is fabulous. But look at this. I'm thinking a scene in there for Christmas. Don't you? I think that's lovely. I love the way that's worked out. So let's just do a couple of finishing tricks. Oh, I know. Let's just stamp. We've got our mini stamp of the seed head. So we'll just stamp a couple of these. And I'm thinking one over here. And then I could just put a couple so they were all floating off. But I have a thing about things sort of being matching, and I think that balances it. I think balance is the thing. So we'll give them a bit of a blot. Then it's those little finishing tricks, you know, my favourite bits. So the Van Gogh chalk pastel pencils, clean piece of kitchen roll to lean on, and we'll just highlight. I just want to give her some hair, sort of this shape there. And again, if I just blot it, sort of smudge it, and it'll make it permanent. And a hand will just catch here. I don't want to overcook it with the highlight, just shape her shoulder there. And I just think it gives her, I was going to say it adds to her shape, but to be fair, she's got a rather marvellous shape. I've got to be honest, I could do with a shape like this. Tracy, when I see you next week, can you draw me a lovely body like this and I can have this new shape? I mean, look at her. She's gorgeous. Now here, look. If I bring it close, because you won't tell anybody, it didn't quite stamp well there, did it? But watch. Bring in my white pen, so, and look, just add that. So that's the highlight down there, front of her leg, and a little bit on the front of her feet there. We'll just catch those there. A little bit on that one. There we go. And if I bring that up, can you see? Nobody will ever know, because you won't tell them, will you? Then I've got one of our Signo pens here, and this is the metallic one, and this is the blue. And I'm just going to go down here. There's a little bit on her wing that I can just catch. And what that means is that then when I come in now and glue, and this is the Bittity Boppity, which I can never get my teeth round, our BB glue. And as always, dries clear. I just use my finger to just get it to all those edges. And I'll just dry that on my Inky Binky. And it just gives me a bit of wiggle time to get that just right there. And then I can see, just check that you can see that lovely blue. So I can always add a little bit more, look. And if I want to add any highlights on these, the blue metallic is beautiful, and it just adds. I don't want it too much, but I just want a little bit. And I'm just going to add some little dots around these seed heads. You know, like we get. And you can take this and add. For me, this is the favourite bit. And I just want to add a few little dots here. I don't want to overdo it because I love this and I want this to be the important. So my last little thing is I'm going to come in with some stickles. Now remember, stickles is a bit rude. So on the mat, we don't want him spitting at our work because he's got wind. And we're only going to use a tiny bit, look. And then I've just got an old water brush here. And I keep it, it's my glitter brush. And I'm just going to paint some stickles just on her wing here. And I love doing it this way. You'll find it'll dry so much quicker as well, so much more controlled. Now it may pick a little bit, it may pick a little bit of the colour up, so just clean the end. And I'm just going to dab a little bit round there, a little bit round this one, just so we've got a bit of sparkle. I say I don't want to overcook it because I love the way that the gel presses, and I don't want to take away from that. I love that as it is. And I just want to show you almost that simplicity that we've got here. And if I bring the two in, now if I pop that on there, just to show you, I put a black, you could use your black Sharpie line, but if I put that on a black matten layer, look at that. And as I say, these backgrounds, no two, they will be similar, but they won't be identical. So you look at the different bits we have. So I hope you enjoyed that. Now, and for those of you that are of a certain age, especially from the UK, that have messaged me, and yes, Roland does remind me of Roland Rat as well. Other rats are available. I have to say, I've had so many messages saying to me, because I did put, I'm going to spend the afternoon with Roland. So you take care, everybody. I hope you enjoyed that. We're going to be putting this in our journal next Monday. So do join me for that. And let's use that background up that we made. Let's pop the two together and see what happens. But I'm definitely thinking a Christmas design coming on with one of these backgrounds. It's been lovely spending time with you. Honestly, it's just the tonic I needed. I hope it's been a tonic for you too. Love and hugs from me. See you next Monday. Bye for now.